Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Campus Care Ed Talks. I, Mehek Dhiman, your host for the show, would like to welcome you all. Ed Talks, a platform where educators and leaders come on board and express their viewpoints related to education and society. Our topic for the day is tackling the decreased attention span of students. And to express her viewpoints on the same, we have with us Dr. Amita Saxena, Principal of JM International School, Dwarka, New Delhi. A very warm welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
How are you doing? It's so good to have you here.
I'm good and I'm happy to be here with
Yeah.
you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So let's start off with the session, ma'am, shall we?
Yeah.
So, ma'am, firstly, when we talk about, the decreased attention span of students, so do you think technology has something to do with it? And if yes, so how has, technology affected the attention span of people in general? Let's not talk about the students or children here. So, you and me and people in general, how has technology affected us?
So, though some people have a take about technology that, what we are labeling as distraction or we are labeling as, lack of complete, attention due to technology, it is actually failure of us adults to see how the kids and others who are into technology processing the information. They're not saying distraction is good, but they label the label of distraction that we adults are putting maybe a judgment of this generation. So where educators mostly find technology to be having positive effects also, there are some negative effects. That is, most of us do agree with that as educators. Because whether it is a smartphone or a tablet or any other such device, it does decrease the attention span. It increases the absent-mindedness, so to say.
Yeah.
That is what I feel when we are talking about technology. And also, though it's not been proven clearly that automatically it will reduce children's attention span, the screen time specifically, I would call, but it does have a strong link, the screen time and the children's attention span,
Yeah.
anyone's attention span.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. So moving forward, you just told us about how has this technology thing has decreased the attention span of us people, everybody, whether it's a student or you or me. So moving forward, how is this decreased attention span affected, has affected the way of students and how has affected the way they learn basically?
So I would like to mention here that a lot of new technologies have been, have come up, and not just the students and the people generally are using technology,
Yeah.
but educators have also in the past, especially during the COVID pandemic time, technology was used very rampantly and it was used positively also. However, technology has created a kind of distraction among people, among children, and we would talk more like as educator and students. So though technology is still generally we see it as positive, but there are areas where we find it is not completely giving us its due. So a child's attention span is a very important factor, I would say. The amount of time a child spends listening to an educator, it definitely impacts his or her learning. So if the amount of time is divided among the educator, whatever he or she is telling, and the technology device that he or she is holding, then definitely it will impact his or her learning. This is what is actually a negative about the technology. So without the ability to focus their attention, the students may not be able to grasp and get knowledge and might then be prevented from reaching their highest success in the academics. That is what we have been observing.
Absolutely, ma'am. And so this has actually decreased, the attention span among the students and the way they learn. It has also been affected. So how do you think also that the students are affected now? The learning is affected now. So does this anyhow affected the educators also? The teachers also, and if yes, then how?
I think yes, it does affect the educators also, the teachers also. Having a class full of very attentive listeners and students, and delivering your concepts to them, and having some of them at least who are distracted, or whose attention span is lesser, lower because of the use of technology, there is a whole lot of difference between the two scenarios. So there's no denying that one of the biggest challenges that educators that they are facing today is the distraction posed by technology, especially I would say social media. So students are distracted when they are having their phones during the class and even outside. It is not necessary that the students will have to have the phone inside the classroom to make them distracted. It is also a phone or a technological device that was used outside and beyond the classroom that can impact and keep the whatever thoughts in the minds when the students are in the class. So this leads to extra efforts from the teachers' end or the educators' end to ensure that such students are paying attention, are understanding what is being delivered. So today, the educators are not just dealing with this problem; they're also, kind of competing with tech to deliver whatever has to be delivered quickly in a more interesting manner and providing knowledge in comparison to the technology, which brings up information at the drop of a hat. So most educators, I would say, feel that the tech just causes decrease in students' ability to also not just not understand because of the gap, because of the attention deficit, but also the students have become lethargic. They don't want to make physical efforts. So that is another challenge that the educators are facing.
Absolutely, ma'am. And obviously, a decreased attention span, it does affect, the performance. And while sitting in the class, I cannot exactly tell, and I think you can exactly tell us, but what kind of thoughts, the students are having while not paying attention in the class, because obviously the attention span is decreased. So they
So
must be, yeah.
I would like to give an example here.
Yeah,
So
sure.
it's not just the screen time, it's not just the whatever chat or any other thing that the student is involved in with the help of the tech device, whether it is a smartphone or a tab. There's something which is called FOMO, which is doing the rounds these days, and it is actually a blend of anxiety, inadequacy, and irritation that can flare up while somebody is going through social media posts.
Yeah.
So then some social media is bombarded with pictures, photos of people partying and having travel check-ins and whatnot, dinners, etc. So those of them who are going there and posting photos, of course, they are distracted. The ones who are watching and reading those posts, sometimes and somewhere they are questioning themselves, should I be doing something else right now?
Yeah.
So that is fear of losing out. That is called FOMO, and that this kind of these kind of new challenges that any person, or especially a learner,
Yeah.
who's in that age group where he or she should be focusing and having her his attention towards whatever is going inside the classroom, is actually transported virtually outside the classroom. So these are few examples where I would like to say that even when, despite the child being physically present or the learner being physically present inside the classroom, and the tech device not being there in her his hand, whatever has happened in the past, maybe half an hour ago or an hour ago, is also affecting him or inside the classroom.
Absolutely, ma'am. Very beautifully explained. That example you just gave. I think we all can relate to it. We all are,
Yes.
scrolling social medias and just questioning ourselves, should I be doing something else? Is this more important than that? So, ma'am, lastly, how do you think this issue can be tackled?
I definitely think that the teachers or the educators need to reevaluate themselves about how technology should be used, and they themselves, how will they use technology. So again, I will like to give here an example that in case a teacher herself in the classroom encourages students to use a tab to maybe do some assignments or do a research project, then she herself is putting the device in the hands of the students in the time space where it should be a physical interaction between the student and the educator. So that time where interaction was happening physically is now given to virtual gadget despite the presence of the teacher. So one is this very important point that there should be boundaries created as to what is overusage of technology by the teacher themselves. And then, of course, the key being that the subject needs to be taught in an interesting manner and quickly, so that getting to the point right away without making the concept monotonous or boring. Because these days, if the attention span has been reduced, then we need to target that attention span in a quicker and more interesting manner. Then there are other things that can be done, to tackle the attention deficit and shortage of, the students not paying attention or having, irregular absent-mindedness. All those things can be definitely, tackled by having to explain what is attention and what is paying attention. What does it mean? The students have to be taught what paying attention means, and to adjust some time frames, remove visual distractions, reduce the watching time of TV or usage of laptop, and then having tasks which are more physical.
Exactly. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here today. It was wonderful having you here.
Thank you so much, and it was nice talking to you.
Thank you, ma'am, for taking out your time. And for
Thank
all
you.
the viewers watching us out, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stuff like this. Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day.
Thank you. Have a good day.